You see a lot of people that just don't think a lot about what is the meaning of life? What's the point of it all? What's this all about? How can I live a better life? All these kind of questions that I'm always going on about in this channel. A lot of people don't even think about it. And that's it's completely understandable. Because, if you have enough to do, if you have enough that's filling up your time, you maybe don't really need to think about these kind of things. And I wonder whether maybe that's completely okay. Maybe this is the most common reaction and the most common way of dealing with these big questions is simply to not think about them because we're too busy doing other things. And maybe that's completely okay. Like you see people that have families, once you're trying to support a family, it seems like life just becomes about earning your income and then spending time raising your family. And that becomes all of life. And then the question of what is the meaning of life, what's it all about, is not even important because it's almost like it gets automatically answered by the family itself. Becoming engaged fully in what you're doing, then you don't need to stop and, look at it in some kind of an abstract, conceptual way, because you're right in it all the time. Then people maybe without a family, but people that are very devoted to a particular project, particular task they're doing, particular career, they feel very fulfilled in, then you maybe don't really need to have this kind of abstract consideration, because your life is simply, you are living out something that is fulfilling to you, and that is all you need. You don't need to have some kind of big picture answer to the question, what is the meaning of life? What is it to you? You don't need to know how to answer that question. Because if you're spending your time in something that is fulfilling, that doesn't leave you with that emptiness, that craving for something else, or this craving for meaningfulness, if you're simply fulfilled in what you're doing with your days, then it seems like that's entirely okay. You don't need to be able to answer philosophical questions about it. It's certainly not a requirement at all. And I wonder if it's possible that even this is the ideal way. What about the idea, now, I don't know if I believe this, but I can consider this idea, maybe that's even better, maybe better than having some kind of picture philosophical idea of what is a meaningful life, instead of actually having any idea about what that is, to simply be engaged in activity every day that gives fulfillment, maybe even a feeling of aliveness. Maybe that's all we need. And we don't need to answer any of these questions about meaningfulness. And maybe that's even a better way to go. So I think there's a case to be made for that this is better. We don't need to directly answer anything about meaning, but instead we find something to do, find ways to fill our days with things that we find fulfilling, whatever that means. And maybe it's just a different way of phrasing the question, because you're fulfilling, okay, it's fulfilling. Well, maybe that means it's meaningful. So it's fulfilling something, some need that we have. It's somehow satisfying. We fill our days doing things that are satisfying. And maybe that is all we need to have a good life. There may be times when we can zoom out and look at the full picture, but maybe we don't need to do that so often at all. Instead, we can just ask ourselves every day, how can I do something that is somehow fulfilling for this day, and let life unfold from there.